Good morning, everybody. This is Judith Hickle. You're listening to Mad Love. Let's get into it. So, I don't know. I just don't feel like I have that much to talk about. Everything is just like what I thought it would be. The war is over. No, it's not. Something else is now closed again, and now they're bombing someplace else. Like, listen, these are some of the weirdest times I can recall. Systems and structures just seem out of place. Nothing seems to be making much sense anymore. Nobody's even really trying to, I don't know, have any kind of decorum or maturity. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Donald Trump, I think, just wanted to say the war was over on his birthday. I honestly believe that. And then he got to say that, and it was true for 24 hours maybe. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what kind of deal he actually struck, but I know Israel is not happy. And like I said, Donald was up there talking a lot of shit last week, so I don't know what that's going to look like. But I feel like I keep stressing to people the importance of making some kind of plan, is because I know that we grew up thinking our life had structure and we were going to do X, Y, and Z, and then you get a certain age and then you'd retire and then you do X, Y, and Z. But, and then you thought, okay, well, there's always going to be like Social Security and I can, manage and move. And I'm not saying that I think Social Security is going to go away, but I don't know that any of these structures that we thought would be around will still be around, functioning the way they function today, including the whole entire government, because it seems completely broken and completely unable to serve the people. It's too corrupted. Everybody is just fending for themselves. Do you feel like your government is serving you? Do you feel like the people you voted for are actually looking out for you in any kind of real significant way? I don't. I don't even understand why we're still considering voting as a real thing. And I recognize that sounds like a hot take, but I don't get it. I don't get why people think voting is like a thing that's gonna save us or help us. There's absolutely nothing going on right now that we can vote ourselves out of. You can't vote morality into someone. You can't vote kindness into someone. So many of these people could not care less about what happens to you or your family. And they want your vote because they need a job. And that's it. They'll say whatever they need to say to make you vote for them so they can stay in their job. That's it. They don't they don't have much thought beyond that. And you can tell. That's the thing that's weird. It's not like this giant mystery. Like, you can't tell what people are thinking or how they're feeling. I mean, it's just plainly obvious. And so while that can be scary, I just think it's just a good reminder that you can't take any of this for granted, and the people who have been in charge of the government have pretty much, taken all the resources that they can. And I feel like they're just trying to get the last little bit of life so they can move on and, I don't know, seal themselves up in bunkers or whatever it is these people want to do. I don't know. But if they could go now and seal themselves up and never come back out, I think we would all be okay with that. But it's going to be a very interesting future. One thing that I feel in my spirit, though, is all these people aren't right. Everybody has all of these kind of doomsday, fantastical, it's going to be this, it's going to be that kind of stories. But none of them really know. Nobody knows what's going to happen, It could be a catastrophe, or it could just be, like a new day. Like, just evil disappears and goes away because we stop giving it our energy. And it just moves to another dimension or moves out of the world. And we're on a new timeline where people have enough and people are kind and people aren't tired and people aren't worn out. Listen, you're not going to realize how tired you are until you get a chance to not have to get up every day and go to a job you may or may not hate and work with people you may or may not like or respect. You won't realize how ground down you get doing that. And then there's the brainwashing that comes with it. Like, yeah, that's what it is. That's what being an adult is, getting yourself worked up so much that you get sick and you have to now take care of your health. And, it's just like this weird cycle and psyop that was put on us. I know a lot of people my age who they're just now trying to heal their bodies and just figure things out. And like they're in constant pain, or they have something long-term and chronic, or, they have something that's been given, 12 to 15 months to live, that kind of thing. Like, look, this is not a game. There's a lot of stuff going on out here, and how you choose to spend your day and your energy is up to you. It really is. And how this comes out is up to us, and how we view the world and what we want to experience. And I think a lot of people are waking up and starting to realize, like, okay, we've been manipulated and we don't want to be manipulated anymore. We've been sort of psyoped into thinking, if we get out here and work ourselves to the bone, we'll be able to have the American dream. Well, it was a reason why they called it a dream and not the American reality. There was a time where you could make, $40,000 a year and have a stay-at-home mom and children and a car and a nice house, and you were living your best life. But those days are long gone because people got greedy. They got greedier and greedier, and they just started flooding the market with more and more shit. There's no reason why you have to have a new model of a car every year. That doesn't even make sense. And then part of this is also what I've been saying, which is we don't have the population to support all of this stuff. There aren't enough people. Yes, there are a lot of people in America. 350 million? I can't keep up. So there's a lot of people in this country, but generationally, the boomers are legion, and they're not buying cars anymore, and they've already bought their last house, and they've already, put their kids through school. They're not going to be doing all the stuff that keeps an economy robust. And then now the way things are priced, which I'm guessing is due to COVID, due to these stupid tariffs, like you can't do any of the things that you used to be able to do on that amount of money. It just isn't going to go that far. So people probably will have to go back to what will work, which is, and I'm sure they don't want to do this, but more communal living, like generational living in one house. Immigrants still do it, but a lot of people are like, I want my own house. I worked so hard to get out of my parents' house. But especially for, I think, Black people, Black families stay living close to each other or splitting 2-family flats or splitting properties for years and years. And it made sense. And I think that was something that was to our detriment as well. Like, when you could move out, you just moved out and left generational wealth on the table. But yeah, I think unfortunately for people who don't want to be like that again, they're going to be like that again. But the good news is that'll help you with caregiving, because you all aren't ready for those prices. No one talks about it, but all of these people who are out here, mad that their millennial can't buy a house, those people are soon going to be looking at what they're going to do for their parents. And some of these houses aren't going to sell, and you're going to think you're going to pay for your parents' care by selling their homes. I've noticed just in St. Louis, there's a ton of houses for sale, and they're not selling. They're up there, they're in the millions of dollars, and they're not moving. And I think people are going to be in for a rude awakening. No one's going to want to purchase houses at a certain price in this market because they're not lending money at an easy rate. And yeah, there are houses that rich people buy and they don't get a mortgage. I understand that. But the houses that do require a mortgage, where people can't really just pay out of pocket, those houses are going to stay on the market a lot longer and may not ever sell. And so if you were counting on your family's home to be your wealth centerpiece, you gotta look at it different. There's gonna be some changes that have to be made. So yeah, things are changing. I don't think they're the worst that they'll ever be. I think that things are going to change and people will realize how brainwashed we've been, and we were playing a game that it was never really designed for us to win. And it was okay if we were doing all right, but the greedy demons came online and they were like, these people don't deserve anything. We don't care if you're not rich, you don't deserve anything. And you can see that play out in the way they treat us. People think this Elon Musk is a genius, but there are multiple deaths, if you want to Google it, with these Teslas being put on autopilot and killing people, crashing. I think an elderly woman got killed the other day because a Tesla was on autopilot and drove into her house and killed her. She was 76 years old. She was just in her house. So, yeah. And you don't want those things to catch on fire because you can't put a Tesla out, I don't believe. That's another thing you can Google. So that thing smolders. So we're in an interesting season. I still believe firmly, and I know in my heart that God wins and goodness wins and love wins, and everybody who doesn't agree with that is obviously not of God, and they don't want to see you win, and they don't want to see you happy. They want to see you stressed out and sick. But I don't believe that's what we were brought here for. And I just feel like you have to get your health. Your health is your wealth. Find your peace and know that you came here for a reason that only you and God know. And try to do your very, very best until it's time to not. Until it's time to transition to whatever's next. Because this has been wild. This has been wild. Donald Trump, I don't know who's writing this screenplay, but they have a real, real strong sense of humor and irony. I hope you have an amazing week. It's Monday, June 22nd. We're almost done with June. If you had dreams and goals, things you want to get done, you need to start cooking, baby, because this year is flying by. So take care of yourselves, and we'll meet back here as soon as possible. Take care.